happy to announce the fact that match rewards are finally coming back. Win a match, essentially, get a crate. And then beyond that, it would be essentially skull payouts.
Skull payouts.
So we're still figuring out all the details.
This crate has an enormous amount of items in it. You have a chance at getting a lot of really cool stuff. The match rewards are coming back to H1Z1. Some of these things, we're going to keep an eye on and tune and adjust as necessary, like the skull payouts. And first place, gets the crate.
I'm seeing a couple people asking about the participant AR being animated or requesting that the participant AR being animated. Well, we have heard your requests, and that will indeed be the case. We will be animating the participant AR for the showdown. However, when it first goes in the game, it'll look like it does now, and we'll be animating it for you after the showdown.
Right, yes. So to reiterate, when the participants get their AR, it's going to be the version it is right now while we continue to work on the animated version of that and make sure that one goes out to everybody else.
Changing how you spawn into H1Z1. So as you guys know, we've been pushing along for a while at removing a lot of the RNG from the game. The spawn system is still essentially completely RNG, especially when it comes down to competitive. You're not really sure what's going on. So what we're looking at, some big changes here, so bear with me, is the ability, one, to pick your spawn location in the map from the Box of Destiny. So as you pick where you're going, other players pick where they're going, you're actually going to get a heat map readout to tell you where everybody's at. So you're going to make more informed decisions.
Right, the darker the color, the more people are going to that location.
Yep, and then as you just saw the little key kind of kick out there on the map as well, just to kind of give people more information.
So as you might notice, we do have a little mini-map on the bottom right corner.
We do.
Tony, what's that all about?
All right, so mini-map, right? So this comes up pretty frequently, and I'm going to be honest, we were very hesitant actually about putting it in the game. We know players are, we'll just pull up the map and open the map, this and that. The game is kind of difficult enough for a newer player. There are some things we want to try to do to kind of hold their hand without lowering skill gap. Teammates will show up on it as well. This is true. Yep, absolutely. If you don't like it, totally fine. You can turn it off. There's an option for that. If you stream and you have your portrait in the bottom right and you want to move it, there's an option for that.
You also might notice that we'll zoom in a little bit here. The HUD it's kind of the final pass of the cleanup rebrand, right?
Yes.
So it looks a lot cleaner. What are some benefits that players will get from this?
Yeah, so the HUD in general is just a lot cleaner. The group UI is much easier to read now. It's a lot cleaner as well.
And now you can move normally with the map open?
Yeah.
Because I know that's something that a lot of players have been requesting.
Yep. You obviously can't look around because you have your cursor, but if this way, at least if you're running a straight field and you open your map, you can keep moving, which is good. Same with when you drive a car. You can drive a car.
We made some slight weapon adjustments.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, to the AR-15, the AK-47, the shotgun. We want to run through those.
So the caveat on all these is nothing has changed with the speed and pacing of tapping. I was very stern last time about, we don't want to mess with muscle memory.
Right.
Some of the complaints that we did have with people or see from people was the AR felt clunky. Lack of the ability to spam whatsoever, especially at close range. The spammability of the AK single shot mode. Okay, so when we look at the guns from a tapping standpoint, like it's the same. Brondad went through to make sure that the frame times and amount they return before you can tap and reset times have all been preserved. But what we did, like for the AR, is we massaged the recoil reset delay and the recoil acceleration values a little bit, just to make it so that it feels smoother. It doesn't feel as clunky as people were kind of saying. But again, it's not the timing; it's the feel of the weapon.
Right.
From a muscle memory standpoint, it's the same. If you spray it, there isn't as much of the horizontal. It's still there because obviously you don't want spraying. But if there's someone up on you, you can get a few shots in them if they kind of come around the corner and surprise you, right? So same goes for the AK. This has slight increase to, I believe it's horizontal recoil growth, so it starts to kind of go out on a horizontal plane a little bit more to combat the spam a little bit, and then the vertical and the horizontal has been brought down just a little bit because it was really ridiculous before. So we're going to see how these feel as far as spammability goes, and then we'll adjust from there. But again, to reiterate, Nothing has changed with tapping or muscle memory, which is why we were okay to adjust things. Shotgun, we saw the complaints about shotgun range. What we didn't want to mess with is shotgun close range lethality. So for this, there's not really a whole lot to show because it's just a shotgun. But we have decreased the damage fall off by a little bit, and then we've actually also decreased the headshot multiplier as well. It's a 2-pump from this distance, right? And then the headshot multiplier was lowered as well. This should kind of bring the range of the shotgun in slightly without making it feel like a wet noodle. Crouch on this build is significantly faster than it was, so we've increased the speed of crouch.
Okay.
And we've also changed kind of how crouch fatigue gets in the way. It'll no longer lock you in on the slow movement as long as you go to uncrouch, so it should get in the way a lot less. I know everybody asked about more responsive jumps as well. Upon diving into the jump system, I found out that it was all animation driven, which makes it much more difficult to go through and just make it faster and more responsive. So we're currently doing the work aside to kind of restructure that system so we can do what we want to, which is bring back a jump without this really long delay in between jumping, because it feels kind of like butt. This is work in progress.
Yeah, think of it more of a proof of concept.
Exactly. Boop. And then he stands up and he's kind of good to go. So as you could see on his end, or on my end, it's still very, very quick. But in the event that I don't potato with the shotgun, if he's coming right at me and he pops out, I should be able to get him.
Waving at him.
Yeah, right. See, I potato. And he killed me anyway because I'm terrible. Missed shots that show blood splatter but don't actually do any damage.
Right.
It's been fixed.
Shooting over objects such as like the cop car.
So we got some changes to the head glitch.
Yeah, a lot of this just went live in today's game update, right?
It did. It went live this morning. And so as you can see now, I can't, when I go to shoot over the cop car, I'm railing the cop car light. I know a lot of the feedback was just yank the light
siren,
bar, you know, and that is on the list to do anyway, just due to visibility. But there were a lot of other places in the game you could do it. We've kind of restructured all the options menus, so now everything is like environment objects, light and shadow. They're all kind of categorized a little bit better, so they're, you know, people can find them easier. We heard the feedback on adding instant heals. So full instant heals aren't really something that we want to add because it can get irritating when you take someone's helmet off, they put on a med kit, and then they're back to whatever. So we're going to try the current change, which is the bandages give you a very small 2-tick right up front, and then the rest of the 8 over time. And med kits give you 8 up front. With the other 52 over time. We got a new tool that lets us put an output dump of every building in the game. So I can say finally that the output says all the buildings are tagged correctly. Thank God for that. You have no idea how hard it is to actually go through all of Z2 and hit every building and every campsite to make sure they're all tagged exactly. I know it sounds crazy, but it's time consuming.
It takes a minute.
Yeah. So that's good. So loot.
Places with loot, or that didn't have loot before, should have loot.
And it has the right loot versus the 27 helmets you guys found.
Breaking a helmet with AR and M9 now always causes bleed? Is that,
the
case?
So we fixed this issue.
Uh-huh.
And then we decided to change how it works because that's what we do. So popping a helmet, causing the 1 bleed, or an armor and causing a single bleed or doing a single damage didn't feel very clean. It just felt kind of clunky. So now when you pop a helmet, you're going to do the damage you're supposed to, but you're not actually going to place a bleed on somebody.
So that's that victory crate you're going to see. But players also, in the top 10 will get a skull payout, or how far down does that go?
I'm not sure how far it's going now, but I know there's going to be rewards for more than just the first person. We're ironing out those details right
Here's some of those items that you'll see in the skull store. That red Scrubs outfit is the entire outfit, not just one piece or the other.
Right.
We replaced the bomber with a jet with some badass new sounds. So you are definitely going to hear this thing fly over, and you're going to know that the bombs are coming for you.
Bombs already stop at 20 remain.
Okay.
Now, reminder on this, if a bomber plane has spawned and it goes from 20 to 10 in like 2 seconds, that plane is still coming.
Right.
We're not going to despawn it midair. However, we did make the change where bombs will no longer drop past the 3rd gas phase. The 3rd gas ring, after that, bombs will stop falling. Current scoring in H1Z1 has been designed to drive players to literally insanity, because every game has to be the perfect game. And unless it's a 30 bomb, it doesn't matter. So, honestly, That sucks. The thing with this is we're going to be taking your base top 10 score as the guts of your equation, okay? So your base top 10 score, and then we're going to be applying a modifier of that of your placement and a modifier of that of your kills. And essentially how much we want to weight placement and kills will depend and where you rank based on your top 10 score.
Right.
So it gives a player 3 things to kind of chase. I can either do better in my top 10. I can either do better with my placement, my average placement, or I can go for better average kills.
Right.
And then to help people kind of understand this is click on the more info button in game, and it'll kind of give you a little flip, a breakdown. It gives you all of the info on your rewards and whatnot and where that goes and kind of where all this stuff kind of comes from.